I've been a full-time nomad for 6 years, and when I first started on the road, staying overnight at a Walmart was kind of a rite of passage. And I did it for the first couple of years I was on the road. But for me now, Walmart is totally over. I haven't stayed at one in almost 3 years because they're not as safe as they were, and our other options have grown so much. So if you don't want to stay at a Walmart again, I've got you covered in today's video. Happy Sunday, birdwatchers. It's Robin with Creativity RV. I hope you're all doing well out there. If you guys have been a longtime viewer of my channel, you know that when I had only been on the road for 1 year, I did a video called, Is Walmart Over? And for a few years, it was my most popular video. I think it struck a chord because when people saw the title, they got worried that they weren't going to be able to stay in a Walmart parking lot again. Now, there were a lot of rumors going around at that point that Walmart was going to stop allowing RVers to stay. And in that video, which I will link below so you can watch the old one if you want to, I told people what the actual Walmart policy was for RVers, and I'll show it to you again here. They welcome RVers, but at the discretion of the local manager, who sometimes doesn't even have an option to let you stay because of the local ordinances. Walmarts have gotten a little bit shady because there are a lot of people that are broken down and living in those parking lots. So I don't blame the Walmart managers for not wanting to let people stay there. They're sick of picking up the trash or picking up urine bottles or just dealing with RVs that are not roadworthy. They know they're staying in there. But if they let everybody do it, they have to let them do it, and then they just decide to shut the whole thing down. I have a really good friend who was a manager at a Walmart in Albuquerque for a long time, and she told me some really scary stories about stuff that went down in Walmart parking lots. Like one in Albuquerque, they found a beheaded person behind the store, and they have a lot of ODs. In fact, I just did a simple Google search here, you can see, for overdoses in Walmart parking lots, and that is a huge problem. So if you're gonna go into a Walmart in your RV and stay the night now, that's kind of what you're dealing with, and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I've curated several other options, and I'm going to tell you about them today. So if you don't want to stay in that environment overnight, you have lots of other places you can stay, and I'm going to tell you about them now. My very first go-to is Harvest Hosts. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Harvest Hosts, it's a membership program where once you're a member, you can stay overnight at thousands of organic farms and wineries and distilleries and restaurants and attractions and museums overnight and support that local business instead of spending your money at the Walmart. Normally, a Harvest Host membership is $99, but right now, with my link below, it is 30% off, so it's like $69 something. Get it. Being a member of Harvest Host is the best thing I've ever done as a nomad. I've stayed at hundreds in the last 6 years, and it has made my RV life so much better. So here's how it works. You become a member, and then you get access to the map with thousands of locations. You don't have to be a drinker to stay at a Harvest House. Some of you know it used to be just wineries, but it has exploded since then. I have gone to go-kart places and bowling, and my favorite of all time was a swamp tour in Louisiana. But just on the road, I stay at like organic farms and museums all the time, and I get to support those local businesses. Now, if you go into a Walmart, I've said in videos before, that a good thing to do to be a good RV citizen is to go in and spend a few bucks at the Walmart. When I go to a Harvest House, yes, I spend money at that house location, but I would rather spend 30 bucks supporting a local business than I would supporting Walmart. And then I get something out of it like maple syrup or clothes or an experience. Now, let me give you an example of where Harvest House really saved the day for me over a Walmart. I was going to Vegas in August to see Adele, and I planned to park my car and my trailer in the airport parking lot, which is totally okay. But the night before, I wanted to drive there and get close because my flight was early in the morning, and I used to stay at a Walmart that was nearby. Well, on my way, I called the Walmart, and for customer safety, they no longer allowed RVers to stay overnight. I thought, okay, well, there's another Walmart near where I was on the road that I've stayed at. So I called them, and they also didn't allow customers to stay anymore. In fact, look at this CNN article I found from 2020. So this is 3 years ago. And you can see here that they did research on how many Walmarts allowed parking and how much it's gone down. I have seen that absolutely everywhere. So you can't expect Walmart to be an option anymore, but you can expect Harvest Host to be an option because they are everywhere. So I was in Canyon City, Colorado, and I was 10 minutes away from a Harvest Host location that I've stayed at a couple of times before. And normally you can pop right into the Harvest Host website and make your reservation to stay somewhere. And it looked like it was open when I went in, but just in case, because it was such short notice, I called the host and they were great and they said, come on down. So I went down to this winery, and across from me was another solo female nomad who was in a casita, and we made friends, and we went and sat on the patio of this winery for the afternoon and chatted, and it was one of my best Harvest Host experiences. Then the next day on the way to the airport, I stopped by that original Walmart that I was going to stay at just to do some shopping, and it was just hinky. And they had to have a security guard go up and down the rows now just to protect people during the day. My next favorite new thing to do is Boondockers Welcome, which also happens to be owned by Harvest House. And so they also have 30% off right now. I'll give you the link for that as well. Boondockers Welcome is just the same. It's a membership program, except that when you stay with those hosts are other RVers who open up their properties to you. So if you've watched some of my past videos, you know I stayed at my first one, I think, in Illinois or Ohio, and met the most lovely woman and stayed on her massive property that was gorgeous. And then I used it to stay in downtown Toronto overnight to be near my friend and to get a tattoo done that commemorates my RV life. Now, with Harvest House, you pay your membership fee, and then you stay at local businesses and you support them. With Boondockers Welcome, you pay your membership fee, but you don't have to spend any money at all. It's totally free. Now, some Boondockers Welcome hosts do have an electrical hookup, and they may charge a nominal fee for that. Both of the places that I stayed had water and an electrical hookup, and I think they were asking for like a $15 donation, which I think is great, but personally I didn't need it, so I didn't pay a thing. My next favorite place to stay overnight without having to go to a Walmart is at a rest area or a truck stop. Now, my favorite way to find these locations is with the app Trucker Stop. This is a free app you can find for your smartphone or your tablet, whatever, that helps you find parking areas, rest areas, truck stops, whatever on your route. The best thing about Trucker's Path is that it gives you live information. So it will tell you how busy the place is and how many spots are left. And like I've said before, please don't ever take a trucker spot because they have to get off the road. For me, if I see a big truck stop is coming up and there's 2 locations left, I look 10 minutes farther down the road and stay somewhere else so that those truckers can get those spots. Truck stops and rest areas are rad now, you guys. They're modern, they have cameras, they feel very safe. And with Trucker's Path, you can see recent reviews of those properties. So if it's sketchy at all, you're gonna know it and you can move on down the road. By the way, if you've never subscribed to my blog, creativityrv.com, I do have a blog post over there that gives you links to the rest area information in all 50 states. Now, I've shown you a bunch of pictures going on that trip I just told you about. And during that entire trip, I only stayed at 2 RV parks and 1 state park. The first RV park I had to stay at because my cat was dying and I needed somewhere to go and see if I could help him. And eventually he died. So that's why I was there in that park. It was called Walt's Four Seasons in Abilene, Kansas. Absolutely loved it there. And I found it through the app Campers Card. Now, Campers Card is also owned by Harvest House, and so they have a 30% off discount for that too. I'll put it down below, but it's a discount program for RV parks, and they're everywhere, and there's not blackout dates and all that stuff that you deal with a lot of the other apps. So when I needed a place to stay, that was the app that I went to. I got a discount. I stayed for 2 weeks, and then I stayed at another park when I attended the Hershey RV show in September, and that local park was also a Campers Card park, so I got a discount there. Besides that, The only other campground I stayed at on this entire trip was Letchworth. I don't know if you guys can see this. Letchworth State Park in New York, which was so amazing. If you get up to New York, check that out. But I didn't know about that park until the very last minute because I was going to Niagara originally, but locals told me not to miss Letchworth. Well, as you can imagine, it was pretty packed, but I went into my Camp Scanner app, which is also owned by Harvest House, I know, but that means they also have a 30% discount right now. Camp Scanner helps you find last minute reservations at like a lot of state parks and national parks because it scans their reservation systems and then tells you when somebody else cancels so you can snap up the reso. And I did that at Letchworth and had the most amazing time there. Now I could show you so many more images of locations that I stayed on this trip. And by the way, if you're one of my Patreon members, one of my tiers gets access to my personal travel map. So they are getting all of these locations put on their map. So if you want to check that out, I also have the link for that below. But normally I'm a boondocker. So you guys probably know I prefer to stay nestled in some beautiful forest or in the desert where there's not another person around. And I've done lots of videos on how to find locations like that. But even when you camp like that, sometimes you just need a place that you can stay overnight so you can get to your location. Personally, I don't like to make a reservation far in advance on my trips because I'm not a weekender. I don't know where I'm going. And staying overnight at a place like a Harvest House or a Boondocker's Welcome or a truck stop or a rest area is necessary for me because I don't want to pay $65, $85 to go off the road and stay at a campground where I have to deal with the people at the front desk and hook everything up and unhook everything. I just want to get off the road, park, get something to eat maybe, get some rest, and go on my way. I used to use Walmart for that, but no more. And you don't have to either. So again, my go-to resources are Harvest House, Boondockers Welcome, Trucker Path, the app, which helps me find truck stops, rest areas, and other parking areas. I also use Camper's Card if I want to get a discount on an RV park, Camp Scanner if I want to get a last minute reservation at a state park or a national park, and finally Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop if I can find them. I hope you guys have found this helpful. You don't have to stay at a creepy Walmart if you don't want to anymore. Our options have just exploded. I hope this has helped you. All the links I talked about are down below. I'll see you guys next week with an all new video. Until then, everybody out there, have happy travels and be free.